Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Otis Frampton Live. I am Otis Frampton, here to draw for you and also to check my audio levels so that everything's good. As always. Okay, looks like we're good. There's going to come a time where I should probably start just trusting this, but I've had enough tech fail on me to be gun shy when it comes to just absolutely trusting. So I do appreciate your patience while I do that. Okay. All right, so today we're going to be actually doing the whole ink on paper thing. It's been a while. Has it been a while? I don't know. It feels like a while. I do so much that switching back and forth between writing, drawing, coloring, and inking that sometimes even a few days feels like a long time. I am monitoring the chat on Rumble and YouTube, so please feel free to chime in and talk to me. You won't be doing anything to distract me, I promise. So the first thing I want to do is show this whole page. It's a comic page commission. It didn't start out that way, but I made the suggestion to the client and ended up being a comic page commission. It's a mashup of Hellboy and Jawas. Oops. And if you happen to be around watching, the last time I drew, last time I worked on the digital pencils for this, you might have been smarter than me and realized that I was doing something wrong. I was drawing something wrong. The previous day that I'd worked on the digital pencils, I drew the robot, and I'd figured out how I wanted to draw that robot. And then, of course, I came back to it on a subsequent day, and for some reason, the layer that I had redrawn the robot's arms and legs to get them into a better position, a more interesting position, they were gone. It was gone, and I'd forgotten I'd drawn it. And so I can show you here real quick. So this is, make sure that I'm doing this right here. Yeah, it's good. This is the wrong one. As you can see, I didn't like the way that the hands were just kind of laying there. The foreshortening of this didn't really make sense, and I wasn't really happy about the leg. So that's the one that I finished up drawing accidentally. This is the one that I had drawn the previous day that I liked much better, and I still like it much better. And this is the one that I ended up printing out to blue line, and then I tweaked a little bit pencil wise. So I was so frustrated when I saw that because I knew that I had messed up. Anyway, let me just get going here. I think I'm gonna ink. I'm not really in a good position to ink at the top of this page, but we'll give it a go. I think I'm just gonna dive right in here. Push it to where you can see it. All right, I think I'm just going to dive in then. Oh, you know what? Give me 1 second. I forgot to turn the air off. Sorry about that. The noise from the vent is pretty bad. I know it's right under the table that I draw on, so it can get kind of loud. I can hear it like in my earphones even. So it can be kind of frustrating. I don't want to force that on you guys. Hopefully it turns off here in a second. There it goes. So I'm having problems seeing. If you're a long-time listener, you've heard me talk about my eyesight problems. So I won't go into it again. But it's pretty. It's worse when I'm trying to ink something digital or traditionally. Wish I could print out the blue line a little bit darker, but I don't want it to be too dark, so that it still shows up after the inking's done. Hello, Donald. Sorry, sometimes I revert to the way that I first thought to pronounce your name. So, how you doing today? Making comics? Grab a bigger. Where's my? There he is. Cool. Everybody should be making comics. Oh, come on, stop that. Sorry, not you. I'm talking to myself. I keep bumping my iPad. Sorry if the keep going out of camera range. It's tough to keep it in camera and move this thing around so much. I never have been a fan of drawing on the big artboards like the comic pros. Just so unwieldy. Part of it is that I'm not crazy about drawing at an angle, the way that a lot of artists do. Which it would still have a lot of problems for me drawing on the big artboards, but it's just not something I like doing. I always forget my my handy wipes for my inked fingers, my inky fingers. Hello, Swap Neil on YouTube. How are you doing today? I think anybody who sees me ink traditionally probably automatically understands why I prefer inking digitally. It's really hard to get it to see what I'm doing these days, especially with my eyesight. Whereas inking digitally, I can just, zoom in, zoom out, rotate easily. Sometimes I worry that the page isn't even in the camera shot. I flip it around so much. But it is what it is. This piece is kind of a rarity. I think it's going to turn out okay. It's rarity that I think that about a piece. Don't often think that, but I was worried about it at first. When I first started sketching it out. But I think after some tweaking, it got better. And then when I found the right layer to work with, after forgetting that I'd redrawn the robot, and that was frustrating. And I knew that I'd drawn a different version of it. That was a frustrating part for me. I was like, why does this not look right? As I was finishing up the pencils on it. Thanks, Swapnio. Appreciate it. But sorry, I'm out of frame again. Maybe I should smooth the camera a little bit. Just Just going to move it a little bit. There. That should be better. If you follow me on Rumble, I just wanted to say that I've started organizing all of my live streams into playlists. They're all in categorized playlists now, so you want to find all the ones that are similar to each other, you can do that. It took me, I don't know why I thought that Rumble didn't have playlists. Turns out they did. So, and I'm going to organize the ones on YouTube a little better soon. So. Okay. All right. It's always about that with you, huh, Donald? It's always about that. Just staying on brand, huh? Well, you missed me not screwing up this part of the drawing, so that's good. Okay. I think I'm going to switch. I'm going to finish this later. I'm going to switch to an area where I can draw easier without having to contort myself. So I'm going to tackle little Hellboy here. Make sure that it's in camera range. There we go. All right. So how should I start? Let's start with the gun. Make sure my reference is here. So I can glance at if I need to. I'm going to start with the micron on this. Just easy to control with this amount of detail going straight to micron. if you watched the streams where I showed me just put something here. Doing pencils for this piece, I was showing off some. Well, I can show it actually right here. Where is it? I found these this model sheet by Mike Mignola, and I'm just going to mention this because I thought it was kind of funny, where he talks about drawing the hand. He says, "No idea what palm of the hand looks like. Keep it in shadows or something. I've never had to show it. You shouldn't either." And so I basically took his advice when I inked, or when I penciled up the hand here. I didn't even try. I'm like, well, if he's not going to try to figure out what it is, I'm not either. Drawing this small gives me flashbacks to the years that I drew sketch cards for Tops and Upper Deck, and there was another one. Start with I forget. Drew thousands of sketch cards, and when you draw that, I think that's one reason why my eyesight's so bad now. Having to draw so small so many times. I mean, literally thousands of sketch cards, and that's just the pro sets that I worked on. I drew thousands more of personal sketch card commissions over the years. It's really kind of funny. But you learn to draw really small. One of the reasons that I stopped doing sketch cards is I felt like it might be really hurting my growth as an artist. Because you tend to draw a lot of, faces and torsos, not a lot of full figures, and I'm like, I think I'm starting to skate here. So at a certain point, I stopped. I think the last sketch card set I did was the one, it was like, how was it? It was something Star Wars related, but it was like in the lead up to The Force Awakens, or right after The Force Awakens came out. Helps put out a set that was sort of characters from all of the existing 7 films at that time. And I was really a big fan of Force Awakens when it came out, so I decided to say yes to the email invite. That was my last pro set. I've done a couple of sketch card commissions since, but purely for mercenary reasons. A few were some that, like, somebody had gotten some of my Lord of the Rings cards off of eBay, and because they were done in pencil, I could erase them and redraw something on them. The other ones were I had some of the return cards, some blanks that Tops had given me. So otherwise, it's just not my thing anymore. It was great doing sketch cards as like, sort of a first professional gig. That was my first professional illustration gig. It was for Revenge of the Sith, I think. And then right after that, did a Lord of the Rings set, which is the first one I did. Not the first one, the only one I've ever done 1,000 cards for. And that was a mistake. It was a big mistake. It was so frustrating. Why did I agree to that? I got greedy, that's why. Because that was still when you could do what are called the aftermarket cards. You know, if you just do a sketch, people would get them, and you could do a new sketch over it for a lot more money. And it was really good money. But Topps put an end to that, unfortunately. It's like, no, we don't want our artists making money. Artists have to starve, struggle. How dare they think they can earn a living? Yeah, boy, am I having flashbacks to drawing sketch cards. Teeny tiny drawings. Serves me right for putting so much detail into these small drawings. Sometimes I think, I need to scale back on the level of detail in these commissions, and then I'll see a piece by Daniel Warren Johnson, and I'll be like, nope, I think I'm not putting in enough effort. In fact, I think I started really going for it and being like, I need to up my game commission wise when I started seeing his commissions, because it was just like, oh my God, the amount of detail and beautiful, just wonderful thought that went into each piece. Every artist should take a look at his commissions and just reassess, One second. So speaking of Daniel Warren Johnson, I was looking through some stuff earlier today, organizing one of my shelves, and I came across my Daniel Warren Johnson collection of Ashcan comics he made. I might use these on an upcoming Making and Talking Comics and talk about the amazing, beautiful artwork in these little ash cans that first drew my attention to him. Seeing them online, and then finally meeting him at a convention a while back, when I think it was before he really blew up, but it was pretty obvious that it was going to happen for him, because you could just tell. I mean, just such beautiful work. He was one of those artists where, once I saw his work, I'm like, well, that guy's going places. He just knew, he just knew. if he hadn't blown up and gotten as big as he has, it would have been an indictment of the comic industry. It would have been like, well, maybe comics needs to go away. His success is actually kind of giving me hope. Yeah, they're awesome. They're really they're such beautiful little pieces of work. I can't believe the amount of care and attention. They were tryout pieces. Right? That's what they were. These little ash cans he created. They were basically, great attention getters. And if I'd been an editor at Marvel GC, I would have been like, well, we got to get this guy. Of course, so was his webcomic, what was it called? I have the comic. I have it too. I think there's a new version coming out from Image of his webcomic soon too in print. I could be wrong, but I think I saw that. Yeah, once I saw his work, I'm like, well, please let this guy blow up. And I knew that I wanted to talk about his work on my Making and Talking Comics show sometime, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to use. And then I saw those again, and I'm like, well, it's got to be those. They're so good. And they're the first thing that I ever saw of his. So I don't think I saw the webcomic first. Not to keep harping on Daniel's he's like one of those guys that he's so nice. You want to hate the guy for how amazing he is at everything, but you just can't. You know what I mean? It's just like, you ever watch his YouTube channel and see him playing guitar? It's like, how can one person be that amazing at all these things? He's such a sweet guy too. You almost sort of like, well, if it had happened to somebody. I'm going to go in and adjust the line weight for this guy eventually. Right now, I'm just trying to get the basic lines down. Jump. Oh, that's weird. I was looking at try to find out what it was called. The Space Mullet. That's the comic that I was trying to think of. Space Mullet. Daniel Warren Johnson's. It was originally a web comic. So I was originally going to use his Wonder Woman Dead Earth book to talk about, because that's probably my favorite work that he's done in the mainstream so far. That and Beta Ray Bill. But I thought Wonder Woman was a little better. He's so good, he got me to buy a Transformers comic. And I do not like Transformers. Which is weird because I'm a late '70s and '80s kid. You think I would love Transformers, but I never could understand the. I mean, I understand the appeal, but I never got into it. I got to remember to add stubble and hairy legs to this guy. Yeah, I think he was still doing Space Mullet when I first came across his work too. But I'm pretty sure it was the first thing I ever saw of his was the Green Leader Ashcan comic, and I think I saw that somebody posted a picture of it online or something. I think I got the Klingon one from him, Klingon and the Pacific Rim from him at a convention when he came to the Twin Cities a while back. But I think the other two, the Old Man Skywalker and what's the other one? Oh, I think I had to get Green Leader. Was it? Yeah, I got the Star Trek one and Pacific Rim from him in person. I think I got Green Leader and Old Man Skywalker off of eBay. You ever draw something or pencil it, and then when you get to inking, you're like, "What was I thinking here? what was my hand doing that my brain didn't understand?" Yeah, my guess is a lot of people found him at around that time because that Green Leader comic just sort of blew up. It was such an example of like obvious amazing talent that he was, what's the phrase? Be so good they can't ignore you. Is that a Steve Martin thing? Forget. But yeah, he was impossible to ignore after that, I think. Oh, hello, Hal. Hal on YouTube. What micron size is that? It's a 0.5. It's I would say it's like a medium size. Sometimes you use a 3 or an 8 also, but the 5 tends to be a good medium for the fine work. You're very welcome, Hal. Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, that'd be really cool to have nice copies of them. I actually, I've been wanting to scan them in and create PDFs, so I have digital versions to look at. I found like low res images of a couple of full Ashcan comics online, but it's not it. They're really bad quality, so I never did anything with them. Old Man Skywalker, especially, is there's so much fine detail in those pages. I really want a nice copy. Okay, where's not that one? Here we go. have to turn the page a little bit. What time is it? Oh, boy, it's almost time. Just doing a little spotting of blacks here before I sign off for the day. And tomorrow I will be back. Let's get this out. Tomorrow I'll be back at 7 p.m. I have to do a night show tomorrow because tomorrow during the day I'm going to be riding the terror tube at my hospital. Whoops. Kind of going for my biannual MRI to see if my brain is still A-okay. Hopefully things are still good. I'd hate to have to come back and tell people that my brain isn't okay. Thank you. I hope it's a clean scan too. It's actually not such a bad thing anymore. I'm used to it. I had first 3 times I tried to get an MRI was when I discovered that I am claustrophobic, and it took a while to figure out the magic to get me to calm down. But I've done it so many times since that it's not a big deal anymore. I still take a mild sedative, but I don't know that I need to anymore. But my wife insists. She's like, no, you don't want to risk freaking out. Okay, fine. But boy, did it not feel good the first few times. I mean, in terms of like the anxiety that it creates. It feels like being in a coffin, and you got to find the right trick to calm yourself down. For me, YouTube saved me because I found apparently I'm not the only one to have this problem, and some people on YouTube had put sounds of MRI videos up, and so I found those, put headphones on, and created this sort of like box-like environment for me to lay in to get used to the sounds and everything. That's what did the trick. A little self-healing. All right, it's been an hour. I think I'm gonna say sayonara to this piece for now. Got a good amount done. Hopefully next Tuesday I can get more done. I think I'm gonna do the stuff off the show, get that finished up, and maybe some of the background work here. Now I'll just come in and finish up the characters. next week. Maybe I can even finish it next week. Although I do want to do an ink wash for this one because I want to give it some tones. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, and I'll be working on more work on that Captain America piece I've been chipping away at. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff on Rumble, YouTube, and X, and I will see you later. Take care.